With how rapidly the culture of the world is developing, so is the economic and financial model, with physical, paper money becoming nearly worthless. While this has been a long time coming, the pandemic's only accelerated the process. In this video, we are going to attempt to explain why this is happening, how you should react with minimal financial damage, and what you can do. So let's begin. Infinite growth is a hoax. When we talk about the prospect of infinite growth, we talk about things like evolution, innovation, code, and technological growth. And while these are no doubt testaments of growth, we cannot deem these as factors of infinite growth. Why? Well, that's because we have limited resources on Earth. All those techniques and endeavors mentioned above is just an effort to manage and maximize the resources that we do have available to us. When we talk about growth as a scale, the system deviates. For example, imagine the entirety of the population, that is 7.6 billion, investing in one Vanguard index, and then wait patiently for their fund quota. That ranges somewhere around 15 to 20% annually, when the world economy has grown only by 2.3%, especially as the pandemic has worked to dismantle most of the economic growth towards the end of the fiscal year, which was 2019. And as important as index funds are in determining the trend of the markets, we think that they may soon become obsolete, especially as the world goes digital. Banks are giving out loans, imaginary ones. As many of you may not know, banks tend to give out loans, money that does not even exist, nor is it even their own. Here's another fun fact. Banks are allowed to loan 10 times of what they own in equity. It's shocking, yes, but it is the truth. That's something to do with limited liability, but well, perhaps that's for another video. Basically, the economic system is designed to favor the banks of the world, and thus them going bankrupt is a very weak and unlikely odd. This is something that makes them confident enough to lend money that doesn't even exist, all the expense of quoting lucrative interest rates to you. So basically, they are profiting off of something that isn't even theirs. But well, in the investment world, this is called fractional reserve banking. Check if you want. The stock market is now exclusive of the economy. Gone are the times when the stock market used to be a reflection of the economy. Now stocks correlate more to memes. So to put things in perspective, during the onset of COVID around the world and the shutting down of various economic systems, the stock market shot up to an all-time high. Globally, $20 trillion was lost, yet the stock market kept shooting up. The way we function has changed, and so has the system. Retirement is a concept that's retired itself. Unless you are able to provide for yourself in the future, nobody else is willing to do it for you. For there to be an index, data is needed. The quality of life, economic performance per annum, etc. However, all of that is lost. The future of money is involved too much differently, and the people with the big buck continue to profit. The rich set the price. The world we live and operate in is run by people with deep pockets who have rigged it in their favor. They own all of it, and the common man is just a pawn in a larger market. The thing about being at the top of the market like that is setting the price trends and having the rest of the chain find out a way to accommodate those price quotes. It doesn't even matter if you can't afford it personally, somebody else always can, and you'll have to move aside and eventually compete with the rest of the consumers. This is why real estate and automobiles have risen so much, along with even basic amenities such as water, electricity, gas, and especially healthcare. Hope you're ready to handle it. Bitcoin is overtaking regular currency. Any intelligent company right now is moving all of their assets away from the US dollar into Bitcoin. As of now, Bitcoin stands as the future of money, especially with the pandemic hitting. According to reports, MicroStrategy moved over $1.6 billion into Bitcoin. So did Tesla with a sum of $1.5 billion. Every big company seems to be following in their footsteps, and it's only logical. Tesla made more money holding Bitcoin than they did selling their automobiles. Just understand the gravity of those words. Another factor to be considered is that the US dollar is losing purchasing power every day. In a way, these companies are forced to purchase crypto in order to save themselves from the inflation the governments are bringing upon the market, especially with the pandemic hitting. So Bitcoin serves as a fence against what the governments are trying to do right now. This is why Bitcoin is so convenient for large businesses. It separates your assets from the Federal Reserves. With giants like MasterCard finally opening up to work with Bitcoin along with others, we're almost on the brink of establishing a new financial system. The future generation's wealth will be accounted for in Bitcoin, not in euros, dollars, or dinars. Universal basic income. This is one of those utopian concepts that new thinking people like to present as the solution to humanity's problems. As brilliant as the concept sounds, and much too complex for it to be completely discussed in this video, the concept is flawed at its core. The system can stand for only so long until it collapses, when you allow for the majority to vote a higher pay for self, which is just lucrative as the demographics more likely to vote for the entity that guarantees higher UBI to them, which later lands them in a messy financial loophole, and so the entire system collapses when money no longer has any value. Traders and hedge funds continue to plunder the system. The recent fiasco that took place, yes, I'm talking about the historic Reddit and the GameStop stock, it's become only more apparent how hedge funds continue to exploit and pervert the system to their own favor. In reality, hedge funds and traders actually bring society no benefit to society itself or to the future of the economy. Think about it. They are the richest of them all, yet they create no value in or for our systems. They just bend the rules of economics to move funds to another section, keeping a portion of that for themselves. As a trader, you're allowed to sell things that aren't even your own for a monetary profit. Unfortunately, they're not going obsolete anytime soon. Money today are still numbers, but on a screen. Even with how much physical money exists, there will still always be more available virtually on a screen. Even when you wire or transfer money into another account, that doesn't mean that actual cash is being transferred from your account to theirs. Only a set of numbers change, and both those accounts with the bank charging a fee for it. Now, we say money is no longer real because when the bank app you're using sends the money, it's not actually money. It's just numbers on a screen. It doesn't have any real value, and you should definitely treat it that way. Number 7, the government buys time by giving it away. The US government, as well as plenty of other developed nations, are about to do something many of you never thought would be possible. Give people money for free. You are about to receive a paycheck in your mailbox just because. But is there a catch? The money you're getting is a testament of the crisis that's about to hit in a few months. They're just buying time so that people don't pull out money from the Federal Reserves. We're talking about hyperinflation. You're being forced to have inflated assets. Being in the middle of a pandemic and the currency devaluing, you may be thinking of consolidating your money by putting it into something solid like real estate. But you should know, or allow us to tell you, that the real estate sector is as hyperinflated like everything else. The problem is the devaluing of the currency, not the prices going up. Future of money. In the next 2 years, prices for real estate are still going to shoot like crazy because of the amount of money that they will be pouring into the market. Money which you won't get, but it will make its presence felt in your spending. More money is printed every day. According to various financial stats and reports, they're going to print and stack another $2 billion into the economy by 2021. Once that happens, the US dollar circulation and supply will increase by 40% in the last 12 months. That is going to be a big problem. You better believe it. It stands behind nothing. Because of how the US being a superpower and how every country's Federal Reserve exists in the form of US dollars, this position has greatly been working in favor of the United States because it is allowing to simply print as much money as it wants without any accountability. That is a lot of power. Every country is in debt. The global debt accounts to $277 trillion, which is 365% of the world's GDP. Not to each other, but to businesses and the populace itself. These are services that people and businesses deliver, but the governments never pay for. Certainly, this single fact has the power to determine the future of money. With the pandemic hitting, this global debt has increased by $20 trillion by the last quarter of 2019. Every country right now continues to drown deeper into debt. Negative interest rates. Negative interest rates means that the amount of money you've put in the bank will be lesser when you go to collect it back. This happens when the normal interest rate drops below zero in an economic zone, with the banks paying in excess for the reserves to be stabilized and exist. This is happening everywhere. We're going to another planet, Mars. It's just a matter of time before interplanetary travel makes us migrate to another environment, and there, we can't take stacks of money. Money is increasingly becoming outdated and diluted, and therefore losing value. The human race looks for better alternatives. Cryptocurrency seems to be the future of money. We just have to know which one. If you found this video helpful and you want to see more content like this, make sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.